Hi, my name's Stephanie Ledbeater.
Hi, I'm Kasha Patterson.
And where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Montana, a
Oh.
small town called Shelby, Montana.
Wow.
Yeah, but I moved up here when I was 3 years old, and I've lived in Calgary since I was 8. So,
I was born in Victoria, BC. Lived most of my life in British Columbia, but then have lived on the East Coast as well, in Prince Edward Island, and then in Calgary. It's just the recent 4 years. So
oh really?
yeah, so not very long here.
How do you like it?
I love it. It's exciting and it's very young. It's a young town compared to some of the places. I lived in the Okanagan in BC, which is a little bit more of a retirement community.
Do you have any personal goals or
Well,
anything?
now my goals are a little bit different. I mean, I've retired, and so my goals now are retirement, obviously managing that, and also being concerned with my own grandchildren, my children and my grandchildren. The future for them is important, and so some of what I'm interested in is how is that going to happen. Some of the politicians are saying, well, now they're raising the pension time, so you can't collect till you're 67, and they're doing things like that. They want you to work longer, so there's no longer the mandatory 65 to retire at. But when they do that, what happens to the youth that needs to take those jobs?
I know many of my friends have recently graduated, and they're all fighting for the same jobs,
Yeah.
and they're getting contract work. They're not getting any benefits. They're basically just struggling or having a second job, so they don't really have a work-life balance.
I have a concern in the sense that a lot of my age group are not buying things anymore. I mean, we buy very minimally now because we don't need to. We have it. We replace things. And my concern is nobody's really addressing that's going to affect the businesses and the type of businesses that are available.
Yeah, we're not really investing back into the economy, so
Right. So therefore, we're going to be taking up more service type jobs, etc. But they're not necessarily the paying jobs,
right.
which again, like no benefits or minimum wage or any of those things. So
how is it really getting back into the economy?
how is it going to get back into the
Yeah.
economy? And is anyone really looking at this? And I know there's been some discussion about it, but this is happening faster and faster because the bulk of the baby boomers is really coming really quickly. Do you think that education at the university level should be paid for by the government?
I think definitely it should have more grants, and for people that are pursuing education, I think you do have to work for it a bit. I mean, maybe the cost right now per semester for me is $3,000.
Right.
So I mean, even cutting that in half,
Right.
I think more people would feel more comfortable investing in their future in the education.
Do you think it could be tied to the years that you were in, like maybe first year not paid for as much, but as you showed that you were really intent on getting your degree in that maybe by the third and fourth years they would be paid for entirely, because to my mind then you would not come out with the big debt that
Right.
already sinks you at the start.
Right. And and especially if you come out with a huge debt load and you're not able to find a job, then it would benefit immensely with so many people that are graduating and first-time home buyers, going through just the first stages of life.
What about things like the benefits and the wages and the pensions, like when you're starting out young? In your pensions, do you think you should have a pension that travels with your job, because they're saying that you're going to have more than one job in your lifetime? And I know for me, I've had more than one job.
Yeah.
And pensions haven't traveled like.
Really?
So if you work somewhere for 10 years, you may not be vested yet. Some places vest at 2 years, and some places might vest your pension at 10 years.
Which I don't think that's fair at all, because you're right. My mother, for instance, she's been working at her current job for about 6 years, and it just started.
Right.
The pension started there. And then her past employment, it was there for 10 years and it stopped, right?
Right.
So I wish it did travel
So-
over with her, but it didn't.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I think in the future that maybe they've got to look at too, because if everybody is going to have
Well, it's only
several
fair,
careers,
yeah.
then their pension
And that's
should be
how-
able to travel along with them.
Right, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's how our society is transforming into, is having several careers or being on contract work.
Right.
So it's not a 20-year,
No,
40-year, 50-year,
pension.
pension.
Exactly.
It's cut off, right?
Yeah. Well, it was nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it was nice to talk to you too. Nice to
Really
meet
enjoyed
you.
it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. I wish you luck
Yeah.
too.
Okay.